adhan would be called, it's like he would become a stranger to all of us. You know, I'll be honest with you, because these discussions are meant for that type of honest talk, heart to heart. When I first read that, when I first heard that, I didn't know how to understand that. Like, what do you mean he became a stranger? Like, that's kind of harsh. Like, he just became a stranger to everybody? And then you realize, when you are responsible for something, eventually in your life, you realize what that means. I'll ask the working folks here, the fathers, or even if some of the sisters, right? When you have to go to work in the morning, again, you're leaving at 7:45 a.m. And you have little kids, you know, when they're not old enough to the point where they actually wait for you to go to work. Eventually they get to that age, right? But at the same time, they're old enough to know that you are going to work. And they don't want you to go, 2, 3, 4 years old, you know, that age. And what do they do whenever you try to leave and get to, and they pick up on the signs. They evolve very quickly. They're dangerous creatures, right? They learn very quickly, right? So they start to pick up on the signs. And okay, when he picks up his briefcase and you hear the keys rattle, what happens? They cut you off at the door, right? They run fast and they cut you off at the door, like, right? And what happens when you try to leave? What do they do? Oh gosh. It's like an epic scene from an epic movie. It's the most epic cry of all time. Right? Seen the epic cry video? Right? It's the most epic cry of all time. No, Papa, don't leave. Please don't go, Papa, no. Right? Papa, no, don't go. Right? They cry and they yell and they scream like this is the most tragic moment in the history of humanity. Right? I'm going to ask you a very serious question now. What do? You go. Right? Go to work. Exactly. Do you say, oh, okay, you don't want me to go? I won't go. And then you show up to work an hour late and your boss says, where were you? It's like, my kid, he's so cute. Let me show you a picture of him. He's crying so much. He's like, why don't you stay home with your kid? Right? No, you pick him up, you put him aside, you tell your wife, come and get him, and then you go out the door. It's honest, right? Does that mean you don't love your child? You're doing this for the benefit of your child. He doesn't grasp it, he doesn't understand it, but you're doing it for his benefit. Oh, and then these children, they're amazing. They don't give up. Once you go out the door, then what happens? Rushes over to the window next to the door, slams himself against the window, and continues to scream. Right? You're in your car, outside with the car on, you can still hear him screaming. Don't go! But you pull out of the driveway and you go. Just like we take work that seriously because we understand the benefit in our jobs, in our work. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when it was time for the salah, time for the prayer, he became a stranger to his family. Because like I talked about in the khutbah today, if I don't maintain this, the same family for whom I would leave that prayer will eventually crumble and fall away. I got to take care of my salah. It's for me and my family. So the Prophet ﷺ would go and you become a stranger to his family. Everything else was secondary. Family's got to wait right now. Work has got to wait right now. Phone call has to wait right now. And the Prophet of Allah ﷺ would go and make wudu properly. He'd put on a nice pair of clothes. And then he'd go early to the Masjid. Allahu Akbar. To bring quality and khushu into our salah, into our prayers, we have to treat salah like an event. Like an important part of our day. We have to learn to do this. And one other tip that I'll add in the context of this, that Ibn Kathir rahimahullah, he actually says, Al-khushu' yuhsalu liman farraqa qalbahu lis-salah. Khushu' will be achieved by the person who empties his heart for the prayer. One tip and recommendation that scholars would always give and they always practice, and is very beneficial, especially in our times, in the age of the distraction. This is the age of the distraction, where your one phone has 18 different types of tones to it. A text message alert sounds different than a phone call, than from an email, than from a Twitter alert, from a Facebook update. Everything sounds different. It's the age of the distraction. In this age and time, this particular era, it's very, very beneficial and important. And that is, when you are getting ready to pray salah, put away all your distractions. Turn off the television, turn off the screen of your computer, put your phone on silent and go and put it away. Not even in your pocket, put it away. Remove everything for 60 seconds, even 30 seconds. Just put everything away and just sit down and quiet. And when you do that, you feel like your mind is a lot more clear. It's not so cluttered. You don't have 18 different things going on in your head. And then say Allahu Akbar. And then see what the quality of your prayer becomes. Because right now, this is what happens. You text message somebody. Where do you want to go eat after he's done talking? Allahu Akbar. And it's like, and then you're thinking, I wonder if he wants to go to Bundu Khan. I feel like Bundu Khan. But we had Bundu Khan last week. We should go to Laziza. Right? Now you're thinking about all of this. Right? During your salah. Put everything aside. Free up your mind. Allah. That's the second area of improvement. Number one, change of lifestyle. I got to learn to live my life a little bit better if I want quality in my prayer. Number two, salah has to become an important part of my day. It has to become an event for me. I have to prepare for it. I have to treat it. I have to take it seriously. And that shows in how you prepare for it and how you actually free yourself up to pray. The third area of improvement, and this is the most important and the most drastic in terms of change and effect, and that is within the prayer itself, which is two things. Number one is understanding the basic structure of the prayer, the technicalities of prayer, which we call fiqh, which will give you the skeleton of the prayer, the outline of the salah. But the most important thing, which is actually the life, the ruh, the spirit of the prayer. And that is when you understand what you are reading and what you are saying in your salah. See, salah is about reflection. Salah is about reflection, it's about pondering. It's about comprehending, understanding. It's about feeling what you're saying. And then delving into it, being absorbed by the experience of the salah. And that can only happen when you truly, actually appreciate and understand what you're saying and what you're reading within your prayers. Otherwise, I'm going to give that same example. Many of you might have been here for the khutbah, so I apologize if it's repetitive, but I think it's important. Even if you heard it earlier today, there's no harm in hearing it again and realizing this. I'm going to give you the same silly example that I gave earlier today in the khutbah. I've been speaking for an hour. Most of you, at least I hope so, have been listening and paying attention. Alright? There's a very simple reason why you've been listening and paying attention, why I have been able to continue speaking with so much energy for an hour. I don't even feel tired or exhausted. And you are listening attentively for an hour. There's a very simple explanation for that. I am enjoying talking about this because I understand what I'm saying. I feel what I'm saying. I believe what I'm saying. I feel it. It's from my gut. I know what I'm saying and I believe in it. I'm preaching it. You're listening to what I'm saying for an hour because you understand every single word that's coming out of my mouth. You grasp it, you understand it, you know what I'm saying, and you're able to comprehend it and digest it fully. Now imagine instead of speaking in a language I understand and you understand, imagine for the last hour if I've been just reading something off a piece of paper, or I've been reciting something I memorized in a foreign language. Let's say Chinese. Let's assume. There's always going to be that one guy that says, I speak Chinese. Congratulations. You can have a cookie from the bake sale afterwards. Alright? But let's just assume, for the sake of this example, this analogy, nobody in this room speaks Chinese. Imagine if I'd just been reciting Chinese poetry to you for an hour. How long before you would stop paying attention? Now be honest, call it out.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Alright? 0 seconds. Right? And somebody didn't listen to a word I said today. Alright? No, very honest responses, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Right? Only a generous person would even listen for 60 seconds. After about 30 seconds, he would update his Facebook and say, I got no idea what this dude's talking about. Another 30 seconds later, I think he's trying to kill me. From boredom. Right? Nothing. You wouldn't be able to pay attention. You wouldn't be focused. You wouldn't be listening to a word I was saying. Let alone thinking about it and conceptualizing it, processing it, and reflecting on it and pondering on it. Forget about it. You wouldn't even be listening to what I was saying. And you know what? If I was the one reading it to you, I had spent months and months and months memorizing 30 minutes of Chinese poetry. I would start reading it, and I don't understand a lick of it, a word of it. And about 3 to 4 minutes, I'd be like, this is the most pointless thing I've ever done in my entire life. I'm out of here. Correct or not? That's my guy right there. Alright? I need to plant you at all my classes and lectures. Alright? Where were you last week? No, so, that's it. That's what would happen. Now, as I said in the khutbah earlier today, I apologize if I offend anyone by what I'm about to say. Because this is the part that stings. As silly, as ridiculous, as preposterous as that example was that I just gave to you. How different is our salah from that example that I just gave? Because you see, we stand up in salah, day after day, salah after salah, prayer after prayer, and we say, Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabarak asmuka, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, Sami'a Allahu liman hamida, Subhana rabbiyal a'la, tahiyatu lillahi wa salawatu. We read through our prayers, we tear through our prayers, day after day, salah after salah, not understanding, not appreciating, not pondering, not reflecting on what a single word of it means. How are we supposed to focus in that type of a salah? Where is that focus magically going to come from? That khushu, that quality, where is it going to come from? It won't. So the most important thing we have to do to grasp some quality in our prayers is we have to begin to understand what we read and what we say within our prayers. We have to begin to understand. And I don't just mean translation. I mean reflect and ponder, grasp fully what we are reading, what we are saying, what we are reciting within our prayers. When we do that, the entire experience of the salah changes. It's a different game altogether, folks. And I'll end here by giving you at least one example of how that changes. Allahu Akbar. Translate it for me, please. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. That's typically what we see, what we read, what we hear. Allah is the greatest. We're going to tweak that just a little bit. See, when you learn something, you learn it at the next level. You understand it. You can ponder on it. Allahu Akbar. The word Akbar is the comparative, not the superlative. Akbar is the comparative, not the superlative. Those are still technical grammatical terms. Let me break it down just even simpler than that. Alright? Comparative means, for instance, if I was to say, Zayd is faster than Khalid. Zayd is faster than Khalid. Superlative, but Ahmad is the fastest. Zayd is faster than Khalid. Ahmad is the fastest. Faster, comparative. Fastest, superlative. You see the difference, everybody? Okay. Akbar is the comparative, not the superlative. So Allahu Akbar doesn't translate to Allah is the greatest. It translates to Allah is greater. But now, to fully understand this example, if I was to say, Zayd is faster than what are you waiting for, everybody? You want me to do what? Continue, finish it. Finish it. Right? Zayd is faster than blank. I left a blank there at empty, and I have to put something or someone in that blank.